Hi everybody, my name is Katie from Katie Twinkle here on YouTube. I've been playing Animal Crossing New Horizons every day since the day that it launched, and today I want to talk a little bit about fencing in Animal Crossing. We have a lot of really great options. The fences are beautiful, but in the end we don't have as much variety as we'd like as we're designing our islands. Take for instance the brick fence that I have here in front of my museum. It's a beautiful fence, but it's pretty blocky and straightforward, and it doesn't have a lot of character, and so we might change it up a little bit. One of the things we can do is add a bush. So I am going to take a fence piece out and I'm going to stick a fully grown bush in its place. And then I'm going to skip a couple of sections. If you go every other one, it gets a little bit of a checkerboard look that I don't love. So I skip two, and then I'm going to add another bush and repeat the process. You can see with just a little bit of change, it opens it up so that you can see through the fence a little bit better. It adds color and texture, and suddenly we have a unique barrier for whatever we're working on. And obviously you could do this all around the entire area if you wanted to. The brick fence is not the only one that this particular trick applies to. For example, if I took the brick fence out here, I could easily replace it with something else. Say the iron fence. I'll pop that in place, and I could replace all of the brick in this section with the iron fence. The iron fence is really good at opening spaces up, but it has a cooler color texture. You can see a variety already just with changing that out. And I could leave the brick behind if I wanted to, and something unique in front, or you could change all of the fencing out entirely for a design like this. Let's take a minute to look at some of the other fence combinations that I really enjoy in the game. For example, I could switch all these bushes out and make them hedges instead. This is a really similar design but offers a different aesthetic, and it looks different if you change out the type of fencing that you're using between the hedges. One of the benefits to the hedges is that they are fence sections, so they'll stack in your inventory. One of the downsides is that they don't offer any color at any time versus the bushes, which while they're in season will add that bright pop of color that can be really interesting. So think about what works best for your space, and whether or not you need any color added into that section. Here are some other fencing combinations that I enjoy. This one utilizes the hedge fencing like before, but adds in the corral fence instead of the iron one that we just did. The wedding fencing is a really elegant option, but you do have to pay attention to your spacing. So here, if you have two together, there's a nice long ribbon, and if you only have one space, it's a cute little single. So either I would need to take this an additional space and lengthen that row, or change the order in which you put things down. I'll show you really quick if I put multiple wedding fences together instead of splitting it up with the hedge. You'll see a whole string of the smaller sections, which is very cute, but I actually prefer that big long line. I think it looks more elegant that way, to have it dropped out, just like this. Here's another fencing option that I really enjoy using in a variety of different circumstances. Here, instead of the wedding fencing, we added in the country fencing, which is classic for a cottagecore look, but it looks for any quaint country, beautiful forest, wooded areas. The nice part is because it has this piece that sticks out, it really connects well to the hedges and looks very cohesive when added together. This one is one of the fencing options I use very frequently. Just to show you the versatility of this pattern, let's switch the hedges out and replace them with bushes. Here, instead of hedges or bushes, I've used the floating biotope planters. It's a really good way to change something to better fit the theme that you are trying to achieve on your island. You can be very unique and try all sorts of things out. Don't feel like you can't experiment. Let's say you try a different sort of item. For example, this rattan stool. Maybe not. No problem, you pick it up, you try something else. Anytime that you do design work, even in a video game, you're going to try something, evaluate it, look at it, try another thing, and you just keep going until you're happy with what you have in front of you. Don't feel like it needs to be perfect the first time through, especially when you're experimenting with different combinations, like with fences. Just to show you a couple other examples, here are other items that I have found I really enjoy when they are placed in between the fencing. This is the tiny library. Right now, it's facing me. You can face it forward. It's pretty cute that way. But when faced backwards, especially with this brown customization, it almost looks like it's a part of a fence post, like it could be part of the fence itself. Another option I really like are the anthurium plants. Spun around, especially beautiful in tropical builds. And the last one that I really enjoy are the rocks. They also work really well in natural environments. At the moment, my island is set up as a very cottagecore style design. This country fencing here is probably one of the most common fencings for that style, but there's another item that's really common, and that is a recipe, a DI recipe for the log stakes. It can be customized in different options, and this beautiful white birch is one of my favorites for a cottagecore style. The nice thing about the stakes is that they have a different angle. They allow the fencing to look like it's aged a bit, like it has a little bit of life in it, and you can spin it around. So here I'll grab this one and I'll give it a little spin, and I have really good variety. Something I like to do is to change up the design and make it look really random, kind of like they've pieced the fence together with whatever supplies they had on hand. So where it's even in most instances, instead this time around I'm going to change things up just a little bit. There we go. With cottagecore, it's okay to have just a little bit of chaos. I'm going to show you several examples of how I use different combinations of these two fences together in different parts of my island. In this last example, I have taken the bushes and the log stakes and have mixed them together. Technically there's no fencing, but it still creates a beautiful border. Try customizing the log stakes to different patterns. Use different bushes. Change things out for different seasons. Try new items. You never know what combinations you can find. Well, that's it for today, guys. As always, I hope you found something useful here, and I encourage you to continue creating in this game. Until next time, have the best Animal Crossing day.